to our biology program. Today we are complete the immunity. In the last session we talked about the humoral immunity and how can formation of helper T activated cells and how the body can penetrate or overcome the pathogen which enter the body. Today we are going to complete the other type of humoral cellular or humoral infections, the cellular specific or specific response. What is the cellular response? Also the cellular response by the formation of T cells. These T helper cells which attack the microbes and killing any pathogen can enter the body. Okay, we are continue this cellular T helper cell. The activated cell, okay, what is the happens inside the cell? Activated T helper, okay, in the first, this is the cellular immunity by mediated cell. First, the antigen, this antigen engulfed by the macrophage. The macrophage formed CD4, okay, and to produce the helper T cell, which secrete interleukinase CD4, and also interleukinase form CD4 activated helper cell. Okay, this is pathway and this is another pathway to killing the microbe. CD4 can form the cytokines which plasma beta cell and form the antibody. Or another type, cytokines make the macrophage form the cytokines killer cell or killer T cell. This is two pathway to form the antibody. Two pathway to form the antibody. Okay. Also, this figure shows a role of cytotoxic or killer T cells in the cellular immunity. If you can imagine what happens inside your body or inside the blood, especially the antigens are displayed, okay, on the surface of the macrophage MHC. Okay, MHC we talked about in the last session that measure histocompatibility protein compound. Measure histocompatibility protein compound. This macrophage helper T cell binds to the macrophage and changes into activated helper T cell. The helper T cell formed or produce interleukinase. Interleukinase, it is a substance. Now in recent medicine, the interleukinase can be injected for the human. If there is a damage in the white blood cell or the blood in your body cannot produce the interleukinase, now doctors can injection the patient with this interleukinase to form the T helper and form antibodies that allow killing the microbes. Okay, and by this way we can invade the infection by any disease. Okay, interleukinase is a substance which can form the antibiotic. After that, we are going to describe what happens inside the cell. What is the role of these cytotoxic or killer T cells in the cellular immunity? You can see that the cell contain antigen which are displayed on the surface of the macrophage MHC. MHC means the measure histocompatibility protein compound. This helper T cell bind to the macrophage and change into activated helper T cell. This helper T cell secreted interleukinase. Interleukinase is a chemical substance that play an important role to form the antibodies. These antibodies which killing the microbe and prevent the infection. The interleukinase, now doctors can be injected the patient with it to overcome the infection by the microbe. Activated helper T cell or cytokines, which formed the cytokines T cells, and this infected or engulf the infected or killer or cytotoxic killer T cells. 2. Cytotoxic T cells bind to it to infect it and transmit it outside the body through the plasma. Okay, inhibition of the immune response. What are the factors which lead to inhibition of immune response? Inhibitions means that the immune system or the immune response cannot be work with the or cannot destroy the antigen. This inhibition of this immune response after destroying the antigens, the suppressor T cells bind by the help of the receptor in the cellular immunity to killing the microbe which enter the body. CD8 that found on the surface of the plasma B cell, helper T cells TY, and cytotoxic T cells TC, stimulating them to secrete proteins. These proteins called lymphokinase, which suppresses or inhibit this immune system for working, and this is methods for inhibition. This led to what? Led stopping of production of antibody. When the body or make stopping for the antibody, what happens from the plasma? The death of many activated helper T cell, and this is cytotoxic T cells become not available in the plasma. What are the stages of acquired immunity? Stages of acquired immunity. Acquired immunity passes through 2 stages. First stage known as primary immune response, and the second stage known as secondary immune response. So there are 2 types of immune. The first primary and the second secondary to overcome these stages. What is the primary immune response? It is the immune system response to new pathogen. B and T cells are responsible for the primary immune response, where they respond to antigens. Means when the microbes enter the body, what happens? When microbe enter the body, there is 2 types of antigen can be penetrated. Number 1, first or primary immune response. There are 2 responses that can the body penetrate this microbe. First, we can talk about the primary immune response, and after that secondary immune response. The primary immune response to kill this. If killing the microbe which cannot enter the body, the secondary cannot work. But if the primary response, immune response fails in invasion this microbe, what happens? The secondary become helper to it, okay, or help it to overcome this disease and penetrate it from entering inside your body, okay. Primary immune response, where they respond to the antigen of this pathogen and attack them until they are destroyed. It is a slow response. What is the primary? Is a slow response, as it takes between 5 to 10 days to reach its maximum. Okay, يبقى هنا بنقول ان البرايمري response slow response because it takes from 5 to 10 days to reach its maximum productivity of B cell and T cell that need time to multiply. Okay, what happens if this infection not penetrate the body? This occurs due to or because the infection become widespread. Widespread means that is the viruses or the bacteria spreads inside the human body in a large amount. Okay, both type of memory cell T and B and are produced but remain inactive in blood. What is the secondary immune response? The secondary immune response, it is the immune system response to the same pathogen that has been infected by the body before. Memory cell, it is a type of cell which are responsible for the secondary immune response because they store information about the antigen that has been fought by the immune system. This memory cell contain data or contain information. This information help the body to overcome the infection by this disease. Okay, immune system in the past, it is very fast response. Okay, why the immune system it is very a fast response? Why it is a very fast response? Because the pathogen destroyed before appearance of the symptoms. Okay, take care that there are two types of this infection. The first type, if the body success to overcome the infection by the disease, and this is occur before the antibodies formed. If there is no symptoms for the disease, because the pathogen destroyed quickly, okay, and this is happen for some persons which suffer from many diseases by the analysis or blood analysis. If you make blood analysis, you can see that this person infected by viruses, infected by measles, infected by influenza, but the symptoms of the disease cannot appear on the person. Why? Because the immune system is working well and killing the viruses or pathogen before making reproduction inside the human body. What is the memory cell? It is a type of the cell that stores information about the antigen that had been found by the immune system in the past. Types of memory cell. There are two types of memory cell: memory B cells and memory T cells. What is the characteristics of memory cell? Memory cells are produced during the primary immune response, and this memory cell can live for tens of years, means 20, 30, and may survive along the person's lifetime. Okay, while B and T cell can survive only for few days. Okay, B and T can survive for few days. During the second infection with the same pathogen, the memory cell responds to the pathogen once it enters the body. This describes what happens to the human body. What happens to the human body if infected by two types, like the measles الحصبة, like influenza. Okay, influenza we can infected by influenza many times during the year. Okay, in 1 year we can infected by influenza many times, but measles we cannot infected by measles once in your life. Once in your life, due to the memory cell. This memory cell keeping the antibodies against these antigens of measles. When it infects the body again, it produces this antigen to killing the measles. So infection by measles once during your life, but infection by influenza many times. Why? Because the influenza viruses change its structure of RNA and DNA. بتغير الاستراكشر بتاعها فبتدخل الجسم many times by many methods. We are complete. That is what happens during this pathogen, where they start dividing quickly to produce large number of viruses or large number of antibodies and activated T cell within short period of time. Examples: human is infected with measles, okay, once during his lifetime because he gains an acquired immunity against the infection of this disease. Okay. Natural immunity. What is the natural immunity? It is a group of defense mechanisms that protect the body and characterized by a rapid and effective response to resist what? To resist and fight, destroy any microbes or foreign body that tries to invade the body. Non-specific or innate, okay? It doesn't form a memory cell. It passes through two lines of defense. two lines اللي احنا نقصد بيهم الناتشرال لاين اوف ديفense اللي هي السكين، وممكن الفيرست اهي فيرست لاين اوف ديفense سكين، سيريونيم، تيرز، ميوكس، cilia respiratory tract, saliva, acidic gastric juice. This is the first line of defense. This is the first line of defense inside the human body. Skin, cerumen, tears, mucus, cilia inside the respiratory system or respiratory tract, saliva in your mouth. The acidic gastric juice means the juices that secreted from the stomach. Okay, this is named by the first line for defense. طب what are the second line of defense? Inflammatory response, interferons and natural killer cells. Natural killer cell. What is the acquired immunity? It is the resist of the body to new pathogen or that have infected the body before. Okay. Specific or adaptative. Okay, specific or adaptative, it forms the memory cell during the primary immune response, and it represents the third line. Okay, you know the first line, the second line. What is the third line of defense? It is two mechanisms which humoral or antibody mediate immunity and cellular or cell mediate immunity. So we can conclude that there are three lines for defense against microbe. First line, skin, okay. Second line, skin or another type, cilia, gastric juice, tears, sternum, the wax found inside your ear. This is the first line. The second lines we talked about the antibodies. The third line of defense, two mechanisms, humoral antibody and cellular mediated immunity. Humoral or antibody mediated with cellular or cell similarity between them. Both of them represent acquired and specific adaptive immunity, okay, where they represent the third line of defense that is caused by the body if the second line failed in getting rid of foreign body. If the second line failed to win. The difference or description, cellular immunity, it is cellular immunity, it is the immune response through which T lymphocyte defend the body against the antigen of pathogen that passes the oil membrane. Oily membranes means plasma membrane that are found in the human body. What is the difference between the humoral and cellular? What is the difference between humoral immunity and cellular immunity? It is the immune response through which the P lymphocyte defend the body against the antigens of pathogen as bacteria and viruses and the toxins that are present in the body fluid by producing antibody. By producing what is meant by antibody. Okay, types of the participated cells, humoral, macrophage B cells and the helper T cells. Okay, what is the cells found in the cellular? Macrophage helper T cell, cytotoxic T cell, okay, B cell and natural killer cells. Natural killer cell found in it. types of formed chemicals. What are the chemicals formed by the humoral, and what is the chemical formed by the cellular? The chemical formed by humoral, interleukinase and antibody. The chemical formed by the cellular, cytokines, peripherin, and lymphatic toxins. This is the substance that's secreted from the cellular and the humoral. Okay, how to destroy the pathogen? Humoral can destroy the pathogen by humoral according to the activated B cell, which divide and multiply, and this is differentiated into two types of cells. The first, plasma B cells, which produce a large amount of antibodies, which passes, okay, through the lymphatic vessel and the blood circulation to bind with antigen. These antigen that are found on the surface of pathogen for activating the macrophage to engulf the antigen of microbe. What is the memory B cells that remain in the blood for a long period to recognize the same antigen if it re-entered the body again. Re-entered the body again. Don't forget, when you talked about the memory B cell, you must recognize the same antigen which re-entered the body again. After that, killing these microbes. What is the cellular? Activated T cells secrete several types of cytotoxins, protein, which act on attracting the macrophage to the site of infection in large number. After attacking or attracting it means take it from its place and enter inside the another cell. Activating the natural killer to secrete enzyme from the lysosome, which attacks this foreign body and the cells as the carcinogenic cells, and the cells that infected by the pathogen and destroy them. Destroy them means killing them by stimulating B cell to produce the antibodies. Okay. Cytotoxic T cells, T secretes peripherin protein which perforates the membrane. What happens? And this is of the foreign body microbes or carcinogenic. Okay, this is the chemical substance that can be taken for the patients who suffer from cancer. Patients who suffer from cancer can, there is irregular cells or multiplication of the cell by irregular way. This irregular way can be make a control by injection the patient by chemical substance. This chemical substance like cytotoxic, which can stopping the activity of the cell or stop the growth of the cell, means the cell cannot producing another new cells, and this cytotoxic also killing the carcinogenic cells that found inside the human body. طبعا دي المرضى الكانسر بنحقنهم بالسيتوتوكسين لو البادي بتاعهم طبعا ما بيقدرش يعمل انفيجن او ما بيقدرش secreted this cytotoxin in large amount to killing the macro cells. These macro cells are in large in size and large in number and lead to tumor. Lymphatic toxins activate certain genes in the nucleus of infected cells, and this is lymphatic toxin substance activates certain genes in the nucleus of the infected, leading to the destruction of the cell nucleus and its death. Dear students, by the end, these lymphatic vessels, okay, we can describe all the immune system. Also, we finish immunity in the plant and immunity in human by what happens. There are three kinds of defense that which killing the microbes invade the body. How, and also we describe how the memory cell can penetrate the microbes and killing the microbes which enter the body. This the lymphatic system, which play an important role in immunity. How can the immune system also invasion the carcinogenic material or the carcinogenic substances that enter the body by cytotoxic substance? Today we can finish the immunity system. I hope you enjoy our time today. See you again and goodbye.